it will give you the adequate distinction between these two things. And you must start your adventure to discernment by first of all checking the spiritual state of that particular thing. In John chapter 8 verse 44, Jesus came back and he told the scribes and Pharisees they knew the law of Moses very well. They can quote it. They don't even need to read it before they know it. But Jesus came back and what did he tell? He said, you are of your father, the devil. He is talking about the spirit that drives them. You are of your father, the devil. That is the spirit that is driving them. It was through this spirit that the antichristal system was operating during the time of Jesus. The so-called church of God that existed then, that should promote the agenda of God, they were the ones that were fighting the revival God was trying to bring most. And it's so surprising that most often than not, revivals are not fought by outsiders. Revivals are fought in the church of God. It is a man that we fight, and this was how all the moves of God in the church history were lost. Go back and study the Voice of Healing movement. What brought that move to an end was they began to compete who is having the largest auditorium. This one will build 20,000, that one will build 22, this one will build 25, that one will build 27. Within a period of 8 years, that revival died down. You need to check. The antichristal system will want to take a hold specifically of preachers, because the devil understands that the preachers are saddled with the responsibility of adequately building the church of God onto a perfect man. They will look for every means possible to adulterate that truth. They don't need to adulterate everything. That man can be right in almost everything, but that 5% error is enough to adulterate the revival God is trying to bring to his church at that point in time. So you need to check the spirit that sponsors that teaching. You need to check the spirit that sponsors that operation. You need to check the spirit that runs the life of that man before you accept of that man. Can I see John chapter 8 verse 44? You have your father the devil and his laws to you. You have your father the devil and the desires of your father you want to do. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaketh from his own resources, for he's a liar and the father of it. So he was talking about the spiritual system. He said, beloved, test every spirit. This is where discernment starts from. You need to test the spirit first of all before you begin to test the works. Test the spirit. In Luke chapter 9 verse 55, Jesus told his disciples, know not ye what spirit ye are of. He's talking about the spirit that drives them. A man does not have what it takes to live life on his own volition. Every life man lives upon the earth is living at the expense of one spirit or the other. So that if you don't check the spirit that drives a particular man, then that spirit will be transported to you, because as men speak to you, they transmit spirits. He said, the words I speak to you, their spirit and their life. Go and check through the scripture. I think it was only on one occasion, if there was any, that Jesus laid hands on his disciples. But what was the secret of so much impact in the life of his disciples that none of them turned against him? It was because he imparted his spirit to them through the teachings that he preached to them. So as you come before these men, they are casting their spirit upon you. As they cast this thing, you will not know, especially when you judge a man necessarily by the result around his life. You will not know the spirit that is being downloaded into you. At the fullness of time, you will suddenly discover that loss is just growing. At the fullness of time, you just discover that your love for money, it just increased just like that. You may have received off